Tasha. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about gay rights. First of all, this is a super controversial topic, as we all know. Every day, gay people are faced with hate crimes, social isolation, and discrimination. With a few new policies, we can bring the benefits of legalizing gay marriage and bring them to light and hopefully reduce society's hate towards gays. Okay, so first of all, the problem. Gay rights refers to a homosexual movement that advocates for equal rights and social acceptance for gays, lesbians, transsexuals, and bisexuals. They're not getting enough rights when it comes to marriage, adoption, and equal opportunity, so pretty much in the workplace. First of all, we'll start with social conditions. Hate crimes. Obviously, they don't just pertain to gay people, they also pertain to people of color or pretty much anything you can discriminate against. A more local example of a hate crime would be Matthew Shepard. He's from Laramie, Wyoming, which Wyoming's a lot like Montana, nothing ever happens there. But this gained national news. Ellen DeGeneres did a little schmeal on it at the White House, so we're gonna watch a quick movie on that. And I'll tell you when to stop it, because we're not going to watch the full 9 minutes.
In the early hours of October 7th, 1998, in Laramie, Wyoming, a senseless act of hate led to the death of a young man with a promising future. His death affected the nation and the world.
Police say Shepard was lured from this Laramie night spot. He was later robbed, beaten, and left for dead, tied to this fence post outside of town.
The first reports of Matt's attack started showing up Thursday night on some of the Denver stations, and it was reported as a gay bashing or a possible hate crime.
When we saw him, it was like he didn't even look like Matt. He had stitches all over his face, and he was swollen, and bandages all over his head. And
he was basically begging. He was asking them to stop hitting him, telling them that they were hurting him, not to hurt him anymore.
We didn't want him to feel the trauma of the whole thing, so we played his favorite music. We sprayed his cologne around the room.
Early this morning, freshman Matthew Shepard died from injuries he received in a vicious beating.
Authorities charged 2 men, Aaron McKinney and Russell Henderson, with Shepard's murder.
Dennis said, just leave me in a room with them alone for 10 minutes and I'll take care of the whole thing. Of course, we knew we couldn't do that.
The only place that he didn't have any blood on him on his face was what appeared to be where he'd been crying down his face.
None of it made any sense to us. The degree of violence was just, it was horrific. Later we came to understand that when it's a hate crime, this is a definite signal of a hate crime, that level of violence.
Today, on the University of Wyoming campus, there were armbands and mourning for a student whose death has focused national attention on hate and violence.
I am so pissed off.
Okay, so that's just kind of to give you some overview of what happened. The first time I ever found out about this really struck home. I think I started crying the first time I ever saw this video. Just because my best friend is gay, and I remember when she came out to her father, he beat her. And so it really struck home for me, just the fact that people are so discriminate and judgmental when it's something that they can't help, just like a skin color. More with social conditions, rights are being stolen from humans. I mean, when you're born in the US, you're guaranteed the right to marry unless you're gay, which blacks weren't allowed to marry way back when, but that changed, so I don't understand why gay marriage shouldn't be able to change as well. Social isolation also goes along with that. Not often. Occasionally, people will meet somebody, they find out they're gay, and all of a sudden they just don't talk to them ever again, which I think is also wrong. This is just a map of the US. Blue is where your gay marriage is currently legal. Civil unions are legal in the purple. Domestic partnerships in the light purple. And then red, most of the country, is where gay marriage is illegal and not recognized. Okay, this is adoption. Green is where lesbian, gay couples can petition to adopt. Blue is they're kind of on the fence, which pretty much translates to they aren't really sure what to do with this growing social, I guess, issue. And the few orange states is where they're totally against gay couples petitioning for adoption. The new policies that I recommend is that same-sex marriage should be legal in all the states as well as adoption. However, and I think that they should still have to go through the same guidelines that any straight couple should have to go through when adopting a child. Also, federal tax, like they should be able to, on their taxes, file as a married couple. Also, freak accident, when one of them dies, they should get the same benefits that a straight couple should get. So if one partner dies, they should be able to take control of finances, all that good stuff, unless there's a will. Benefits. Equal rights. Finally, it's this concept that nobody can seem to wrap their head around totally, and they often leave out gay people. Marry the one you love, which is super cheesy, but I also think it's super romantic in a weird kind of way. An actual separation of church and state, which is something the Constitution guarantees, but we don't do. So to sum it all up, people kind of just need to mind their own business, because gay marriage doesn't personally affect anybody other than the couple, just like a straight marriage doesn't affect anybody personally other than the couple. Gay marriage will not cause a World War III, the terrorists will not win, an epidemic will not outbreak, schools won't start to teach gay sex. All that's going to happen is gay people will get married, and there's nothing wrong with that. Also, nobody really has the right to tell anybody who they can and cannot marry. I don't know who died and gave the government that sort of power, but that needs to be taken away, and everybody should be able to marry who they want. And that's it.